Autumn Antlers in Minnesota is a place that makes dreams come true. When Jay hunted here last year, owners Doug and Denny decided to make one come true for their new friend and small-town cowboy and let him harvest a monster whitetail in velvet. Cinnamon Creek Archery owner Joe Masako tags along and discovers one of the finest hunting destinations in the world. You only live once, so you better make it good. This is Blue Collar Adventures.
As hunters, we're misunderstood as people that dislike animals. I love animals, and I spend most of my time outdoors with them. I grew up on a ranch, and the life that we lived was simple. It's a life that most people aren't lucky enough to enjoy. Hunting's in my DNA. My ancestors hunted to survive, and what they passed on to me is imperative that I pass along to my family. The harvest of an animal does so much for us as humans. It creates a food source for us while strengthening the population. It is my responsibility to manage nature and help create a better ecosystem. That's just my life as a hunter. We're flying in. We've been on another hunt out in Nevada, and we're coming in. I'm looking out the window. There's giant lightning storm is all over Minnesota. It's going to be raining, but we hit Minneapolis about midnight, and it's a couple-hour drive north. And when you see the lights on at Autumn Antlers, it's just a welcome sight. It's just like, I'm here. I'm on vacation now. We're hunting whitetails, and we're staying at the nicest lodge I've ever been in, and I know it's going to be a great week.
Jay said, "You're going to have a good time here," and I said, knowing Jay, that he's a blue-collar boy, sleeps out there in the desert doing stuff, I said, I figured this place was going to be kind of, you know, like a barn with cots in it and stuff, but wow, what a surprise. This place is unbelievable.
Get up next morning, it rained, so we slept in. Joe's itching to go out. He's been there a day before. They've been out scouting deer, and he spotted a couple really big bucks. Doug takes us riding around. We're scouting out where we're gonna sit. You know, we're gonna climb in a tree, we're gonna get in a nature blind. This is like the perfect habitat for a deer. You know, they've got acres and acres of corn. It's still not cut, it's tall. They've got food plots everywhere in the woods. It's like heaven for a whitetail buck. And the thing about that, it makes it hard because those deer don't have to go anywhere. There's no pattern for them. They can stand up and eat and lay back down, and they can hide. I mean, the trees are completely foliaged out. The ground cover is up to your waist. And if they don't step out in the open, you're not gonna see them. We come through the thick woods, and there's a food plot in the middle of them we call the big plot. I'm on a velvet hunt. It's a dream come true. So anywhere I sit, I'm gonna be happy. But this looks like a good place to start. So, you know, filming, it makes it tough because it's hard to get two people in one stand. So this year, we teamed up with Twisted Timber Tree Stands, and it made it easy. I climbed up there, I put a Twisted Timber Tree Stand. Crystal, my camera girl's right behind me now. We're set. It was that easy. We've got a good setup. Now we're hunting out of a tree. We're on a food plot. It all starts tonight. You don't really hunt out of a tree stand in August. It's nice and warm. We're sitting in the tree enjoying a nice fall evening. We got big giant woodchucks playing around behind us. We got squirrels chirping, and all of a sudden the deer start coming out of the brush into this food plot. These deer come out, and it's hard to pass one, but an old man told me one time, if you're ever gonna shoot a big deer, son, you're gonna have to let some walk. So I let this big 10-point go, and it was cool to see him. I hadn't got to see a deer in velvet yet this year, and sitting in a tree stand knowing that I'm hunting one, it got me pretty excited.
All these big bucks start rolling in, and they're walking right under our stand, and they're eating about 25 yards, 40 yards from us, and they're there for about 45 minutes, and they're eating these ferns, and you'll hear me say it when we're filming a little bit, but we didn't know what the heck they were eating, and all of a sudden they pulled up and ate these little ferns. So those deer kind of moved out, and then all of a sudden Tony taps me on the shoulder and says, "Look over here," and then here he comes, and he's coming right at us, and he's about 25 yards away, and he's walking straight at us, and he stopped. The wind was coming from right to left, and then as soon as he stopped, the wind changed. And just like every other hunt, you know you're busted. So this deer stomped at us and blew at us a little bit, and then he walked right to us. He comes so close to the stand that he just lifts his head up and kind of looks at Tony. He was probably smelling that taco on him or something, I don't know. They say they're really good. They're awesome, actually. But, and then he walked away, and after he had enough of us, and kind of jumped twice and took off straight away again, and we didn't get a crack at him. And, you figure that's the one and done, because usually once they bust you like that, unless you're just absolutely fortunate, you get another crack at them.
This segment is brought to you by Vortex Optics, the force of optics. Taco Casa, real fresh, real food, real good. Nature Blinds, the most realistic hunting blinds on the planet. Spot Hog, the world's toughest archery products.
Jay goes out that evening, and he sees some monstrous deer, and he's after one that has double drops and all kinds of stuff all over him. I was kind of jealous, actually, but he's the big guy in this channel, so I can't upstage him. So I'll shoot the spike while he shoots the big 12-point, but I'm okay with that, But anyway, he gets on a deer, and he has really a tough time trying to get on this deer.
It gets, especially when you get your eye on one animal and you want to focus on one animal, it is a challenge.
We're sitting down at breakfast. We came in, and we were talking about, and there's really no pattern on these deer this time of the year. So I was talking with Tony. I said, man, we should just eat breakfast and go right back out. I mean, it was only like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I said, sometimes I get up midday and they'll come back and kind of figure out what they're trying to do. We talked about it, and he said, well, I'll go out with you. If you want to go, let's go. So we go out, and we're in the stand probably 45 minutes maybe, and this doe comes by, and you'll see that I took a crack at her, and I flew right over her back because I caught a buck out of the corner of my left eye when I was getting ready to shoot her, and I didn't know which one it was, and I kind of had a heart attack panic because I was afraid I was going to blow if that was him again. But anyways, it wasn't, and about 7 or 8 minutes later, all of a sudden, once again, Tony taps me on the shoulder and he goes, oh boy, there's our boy. how many? That's three?
Yeah.
45 pounds.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Woo! Wow.
I'm Antlers up in Minnesota, and we got here Saturday midday and came out and scouted Saturday night. And we had a little thunderstorm Sunday morning, so we went out looking again, and then we saw this bad boy show up. We saw a lot of big bucks. Shooting a deer in velvet is kind of a bonus if you can do it, and they have enough of them up here. Shooting a big deer like this, looking at them, and I don't know, it's kind of exciting. When I saw his brow tines, that was it, I was done. He had me at hello. Split brows are pretty cool, and then all this trash on them. So, we're up here with Blue Collar Adventures. I'm Joe Mazzacchio with Cinnamon Creek Ranch and Cinnamon Creek Archery in Texas, and I got a feeling that there's going to be a lot of boys coming up this way, because this is real cool.
I didn't realize that Joe could pull 25 pounds and still get a deer.
He's my baby. When you pick up a deer's horns, and my hands aren't that big, but when I can't touch my fingers in the middle like this, that's pretty close to what they were. And they're as big around as a soda can. So, and then it was just so majestic, you know, holding that thing in velvet. I mean, there's nothing like it.
We wanted to create one of the finest hunting preserves in the country, and our attention to detail, I'm very, very fussy, down to the grass trimmed around the light poles, to the best animals, to the best food, and everybody at Autumn Antlers is here because they want to be here.
Three things in my mind make a great hunting lodge like what we have and aspire to become. The number one thing is the animals. We have some of the best animals in the world. The second thing to me is people. I mean, and that's another one. There's a lot of great people in this world, but we've got some truly Minnesota nice, really holds true at this place, and we've got some fantastic people here that have stayed and made a lot of things great. And the third thing becomes the lodging. When you add those three together, our lodging, our people, and our animals are second to none. And when people come here, I want them to truly feel like I'm going to my cabin, I'm going to my hunting ranch. You know, this isn't just a place we're going and we're paying money and that's it. We want it to be a place where you come in and you truly feel like you're at home and you're coming back, and that's, you know, what we strive to be, and we always try to get better.
What about earrings? Come on, seriously. I mean, I'm a professional hunter. I can't have earrings, see blind.
Such a blast. It's such a gift to be out here. These guys are so generous to let me come hunt up here and do a show. And every night it's exciting. I'm seeing deer that I've dreamt about my whole life. We set in one food plot and I see a double drop tine. I mean, how many of those do you see in your lifetime? And that's what's cool about this place. There's dream bucks everywhere. It's a once in a lifetime place and you only live once, so I'm gonna hunt it. Jason, Danny's son-in-law, he's like their #1 guide out here. He's kind of got me under his wing. He was with me last year when I shot my big buck with my broken leg, and we're pretty good buddies, and we kind of make a game plan. We need to get up earlier, and let's get in the woods early, like when it's really dark. So we get out to the tree, it's pitch black, we get up in there, Crystal gets set up in her twisted timber tree stand behind me. I'm set up in a ladder that they have there, and it's just waiting out the dark. And I'd seen a double drop time that was beautiful. He was just a mainframe, perfect 10 with 2 double drops. And I decided I really would take him if I had the chance. And he's coming right at me, and he's going behind Crystal, who's over my shoulder. And I'm about to draw, and he goes behind the tree. So I have to be sneaky as I can, and I turn around, and I'm looking back over this tree, and I'm just waiting to see where he's at so I can get and draw. So when he steps out, and I hear Crystal go, "There's the spider." And it's one of those questionable shots. I might have shot just a touch higher than I wanted to, but I feel good. You know, the lungs are up high. That's a good lung shot. But the one thing I'm not gonna do on a deer like this is I've waited my whole life. I'm not gonna go down there and chase after him and bump him up. I'm gonna give him time. I'm gonna back out. I find a couple spots of blood. My arrow's got a little blood on it, but there's blood on the ground, so I know he's hit. It's good red blood. We back out. I go back to the lodge, and that's that moment, that's the highs and lows of hunting. You've waited this long, you've waited a lifetime to see a buck like this. You get a shot at him, and you wonder if he made a good shot, because it's archery. They don't drop right there, they run. And we go back out, and we pick up the trail, we pick up some blood, and there's just a drop here, and it's thick ferns, and I'm trying to get over to where if it gets in the swamp, I'm in trouble. So I'm just praying this deer is down before the swamp. My goodness, that is a toad. Oh, what a beautiful sight, blood and big antlers. Look at that buck, man. Oh, he's lunged right there. Gosh, look at that buck. Never dreamt of a buck like this, and I've been everywhere. We've stayed in tents on the ground and hunted places, but when I got the opportunity to come to Autumn Antlers, I don't know who would turn it down, and this is why. They have superior deer, and it's a 5-star lodge, and I'm just a lucky enough kid that grew up blue collar, and I'm getting to live my dream a little bit thanks to a lot of help from a lot of people. So many people helped me get this deer, from Autumn Antlers to the bow shop at Cinnamon Creek, and especially my friends at Taco Casa. And, you know, I'm just a regular guy like you, and to get out here and have a chance to do this, I want to share it with you. And I hope that someday some of you guys get to come here. I mean, I've been on pins and needles since I saw these deer, and I was up here last year, and when I heard you could hunt one in the velvet, I was booking a plane ticket. It's just an awesome experience, from the camaraderie in the lodge to the gourmet food to a deer like this. And it is the very top rung, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I thank Autumn Antlers for having me up. Without them inviting me up, I don't know that I'd ever find a deer like this. Not many places anywhere in the United States you can kill a deer this big, but to kill one in velvet is just a dream come true. I love whitetail. I think they're a beautiful species. We got in the stand early this morning. It's been tough. It's There's a huge cornfield, there's cover, there's feed. These deer have everything they need to stay away from you. And you know, I'm a bow hunter, and you know how that is if you bow hunt. It's a challenge anyway. And we got in there and he came out. You know, I saw this beautiful drop tine buck, and he came right on the stand. And about the time I was gonna draw, this buck came out, and I saw him last night, and I said, gosh, if I could have a chance at a buck like that, I would pinch myself. Well, that might have been what happened, because I pulled it and it was just a touch high. And to be safe, I went back to the lodge, showed some of these guys that are veteran hunters. Joe from Cinema Creek, he said, man, that deer's hit good, let's give him some time. Let's give him more than we think. Jay and I came out, and he dropped me off about where we were. We picked up a little bit of blood, not a lot, and a dream has been fulfilled. I just can't thank you guys enough for watching and being behind me and kind of living this with me. I feel like you're right here with me in the show. And can you believe this buck? I'm beside myself, and actually I'm gonna lay him down and pinch myself one more time to be sure. So get up here, Autumn Antlers. You're in Texas, you need a bow, Cinema Creek. Make sure you stop and eat at Taco Casa.